Well, my only little addition will be you have talked about what we can do for them. What can they do for themselves or for others? Number one, they have to accept the realities of their situation. It's like going through a grieving process, which always starts often with denial, and that can be as long as forever. You still be casting blame on the other party.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you are both equally guilty or more guilty. As we speak to a cross crowd right now, we don't know which page of that kind of separation tendencies any particular couple is at. So don't apply these principles on a generalizimo basis. That's why you need to find your counselors. You can see us privately, and then your case can be taken up very, very one-on-one specific basis. But generally, please don't isolate yourself. Don't take the stigma. Don't withdraw. Don't see yourself in the low esteem. The Bible says the righteous man falleth how many times? 7 times. Each of the times he does one. Rise up and dust your shoes and then move ahead. So you need to be able to move ahead. The only extra thing from your own side, apart from those stigmatizers, is that please don't be ready to play the same old game that didn't work with another fellow that may come your way. And somebody will ask, oh, can they actually go somebody else along their way? I'm not saying that you can necessarily go into remarriage without closing the old chapter appropriately. There are very, very restricted window of closing an old affair. Otherwise, you're not just licensed to just be doting around the whole place and testing every available hand. No, but more often than not, from the analysis or what do you call it, statistics research on those areas, you find that most people who are in this bit didn't do enough preparation before they enter into the marriage. So what they avoided in their
Courtship.
fast pace, which I mentioned earlier on, fast food, fast this, fast that, especially those who are cutting across the oceans. The man or the woman only gets chance to come home 2 weeks in a year. You know what we're talking about now. I can put up a good show for you for 2 months if I know that after 2 months you are going back to where you came from. For 2 weeks, in fact, you have the best of me. The moment I see to the airport, from the airport, I'm branching to where I'm getting my normal feed or normal satisfaction. So those necessary details that were missed out in the first case, please go and start studying and working hard on. If I have to ever get into a new one, how is it going to be? How much do I need to know of this other person? How much do I need to release about myself to them? All those kind of lessons learned from the past are key. Don't just run up and just say, well, I caught him or her red-handed in whether adultery or infidelity or whatever. So I'm a free man or a free woman. Meanwhile, you have your own skeletons in your cupboard. Watch out for those areas. Very, very key. But see counsel to be specific to your own case, and do apply generalizable onto every situation.
Well, thank you so much. I think there's another area that I really want us to talk about. I know time is short, but I find that, especially for most of us, so now I'm talking about couples that have now migrated from wherever we are, we come to another country. And of course, when we migrate or when we're migrating, one of the things was we're migrating, we hope. Now, for most of us from African descent, you're coming from a place where there's a lot of community, there's a lot of support, and then you find yourself in this environment.
Absolutely.
Like, what kind of strain? Of course, there's a lot. Sometimes there's strain on marriages.
Yes.
So from your experience, how do we navigate through those waters? Because a lot of people still want to jackpot. We say they still want to migrate from the African continent, and you find that support that we have back home, you don't find that here.
Yes.
Just remembered when we relocated. We had 4 children then. The youngest was 8, and the oldest I think was 16. 6 years later, 12 or 30. It's
6 years.
6, yeah. So it was when we got there that I realized that my children could even slice onions. Those are not small ages, right? Because back in Nigeria, there are helpers, there are supporters, there are house helps, any way you want them, whether living or coming. Aunties, you have drivers, you have everything. So now it's you. I think one thing I love so much about that relocation was that he made us begin to work at ourselves inward. That's again, that's one thing everybody should look forward to, because you're learning together, you're training the children, you're all together. That's number one. Does it come easy? Maybe
No.
not. You have to practice. So the first thing we need to do is we need to understand what we are going to meet where we're going. You know, everybody just thinks that, we're relocating, life is going to get better, roads are there, power is there, you know, everything. It's more than that. You know, all those supports are going to be away. You don't have the support anymore. So you're here, you're by yourself and your ears. So what do? So we begin to adapt, to manage each other. Is it going to come very easy? Maybe not. There will be lots of you know, conflicts here and there. And that's where communication is also very important. Let's communicate. Okay, what is happening here? Why is this happening? But then those days, you know, the way we were serving God, that you'll be in church, you do everything because you know somebody has already made some pepper for you to come and cook and all that. But now I made all the pepper, I made everything. So I go out, I come back home, my home is the same way. And you're angry and then you're picking it on the children. You haven't planned well. That was when I realized that, you know what, you better sit down in your home, because your home is your number one ministry. Is your number one way of serving God. So if you think I can leave everything at home and then go to church and I'm serving this and serving that, you have wasted your time. So that was when I changed. Things began to happen. I started staying home to know that, you know what, you have to sit down to teach. It's like you retraining yourself again. You have to retrain yourself from the way it used to be where you're coming from. So it's not automatic. You have to plan it. You have to know it. You look at all the things around you. You can't adopt it. You adapt it to suit you. And it takes time, a lot of patience. You be patient on each other. You can't get it in one day. Even the children won't get it in one day. You know, if you're not careful, you will just be lashing out on the poor children for no reason. So there's a lot going on, you know, when we come in. And one thing again is, because where we're coming from, we didn't realize that we were not dropping balls because we had people helping us. Now the people are not there. Balls will be dropped. But if you want to get angry on that ball that is dropped, then you will not, there's no future in it. So we have to tolerate each other. We have to have understanding, you know, and just know in your mind that we're not where we want to go to, but we're getting there. So let's live one day at a time. Get the children. That's when you begin to train the children again. For some people that are blessed, they're lucky. Maybe they started very early when they were small. Some didn't. So it means that you're sitting down to teach the children how to be independent as well, to do, because sometimes the little things that causes all the conflicts. You have to do the housework, you're cooking. You know, the husband is used to food with land on the table because because somebody else is helping your wife. You know, so it takes time to realize that there's no somebody else helping this wife. So I can't sit in the sitting room and stretch my legs. You get up. So it's intentionality. You have to get up and roll up your sleeves and begin to work, whether you're a man or a woman, because that's what it entails. So you can't be talking about that. My father in those days, no. You cannot do this with my dad. I remember we watched a movie, was saying that my father would not do that. And then the wife said that, do you think you're in Kumasi in your village, or you think you're in Kumasi in the village where all you do is just to plant and eat? That this is Canada. We have to make, how do we make things work here? So a lot of adjustments, I tell you, and it's possible. I tell you, be patient. Take one day at a time and cut yourself slacks. You know, so don't expect that it will be perfect. For goodness sake, this man has not entered the kitchen. In fact, I didn't know my husband knew how to cook when I met him, because as soon as he married me, he lost all his cooking skills and he never comes to the kitchen when we're in Nigeria. Well, I don't. So, but when we got in here, I knew that we had to start learning to do it. So I can't expect him to know. I mean, if I'm not communicating what is in my mind, what I desire, and then your words, how do we speak? If I speak to him anyhow, he's not going to listen to me. You know, one of our daughters said that I know how to speak to my big brother, and he will give me what I want. And the other one will say, what is it? What's it? You know, I can, he said, if you talk anyhow, you won't get it. That's a lesson. We'll learn to talk. We'll learn to communicate and adapt and change and be intentional. And try it, manage. It won't work well. It won't be the same, but we will get there someday. We will get there.
I'm going to answer this question from a man's perspective. I know we always say men, I don't know if it's that they fail to communicate or they don't know how to communicate, but what do you think many husbands really want to communicate to their wives that they find they struggle to communicate. There's some things that they want to communicate, but they just find it hard to communicate.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I would say pride is at the base of it all. Pride and arrogance at the base of it all. They want to communicate their superiority in the home sometimes, and they fail to realize that the other side also needs some comfort over how that submission, or there are certain words, like I said, if I choose the word in-laws and some people will react one way or the other. So also if I mention submission, wife submit, people just switch off and say submit to you. We have seen marriages that broke on the day of their swearing just because they say, sister so and so Jane, we learn to obey and to submit, and just submit to who? Obey who? And that's how the marriage stopped. So when you don't have understanding for anything, you are likely to just be challenging in emptiness. One other word for marriage is compromise. If you are not ready to accept compromise, don't bother. Don't bother to go in there. So you will give yourself pains, you give the other person party pain. So men want to communicate how much they love their wives, because many times they don't know how to say it out. They look for actions. So when we talk about love languages, some men's love languages, or most languages, is in actions. I provided her a house. She has car or cars. She has maybe possibly a driver if it was back home in Nigeria or Africa or an Afro-Caribbean background. Then what else does she need? What else does she need? Why can't I have my meal when I want to have it and have my satisfaction? It doesn't work that way. Words of communication goes along with getting to know the feelings of the other party. You don't know what the other party is going through. You just assume that because you provided this, provided that one, so all of that should be calling at your beck and should be at your beck and call. No, it doesn't work that way. They too also have what they want you to know about them for you.
Yeah.
So, and how to learn those two positions is just by open sitting down and communicating. Compromise, as I said, is one word. Then two, if you are in Rome, how do we say that proverb right now? You learn to be like what? Act like Romans, right? Yeah. You get to Canada or America or UK and you want to operate Nigerian structure or African structure, it may not work for you. It may not work. So rather sit down and say, what will operate around here? Me, I've learned how to deal with snow and cutting grass since I came in here, which I never used to do before. Or wash plates. If I want to guarantee the next meal, do the dishes so that somebody can do the meal that is coming. Otherwise, the old dishes will wait for you out there and there will be no meal at all to come across. Because we are both working from morning till evening. And then a couple said it well and said that, you know what, they all smiled, greeted each other, waved, and even joined the train to go to work in the morning. And they came back to the house together again around that kind of 6 o'clock, and they were not looking up. So what's in for dinner? Both of them were asking them, what's in for dinner? Because there's nobody at home to even cook in the first place. And it dawned on that man for the very first time. He will be asking for no miracle, but a magic. If he went out with the same wife since morning. They came back together, and then he is now the one that will ask in that house, what's in for dinner? And the wife to look and say, what's in for dinner? They had to go out to the nearby restaurant to go and pick up pizza or whatever they will eat that night. And the following day or two, the man began to cook because he actually loves cooking. But he said something that was very notable. He says if his mom should ever mistakenly visit that house and catch him in the kitchen, it's World War III for that family, because in their background, a man was never to be found in the kitchen. But he assessed his wife that he belonged. So you see, how do you place, how do you assess this, your relationship called marriage? Is it just as a tool working systems? The man provide money, the woman cook, and as there are certain roles and responsibilities assigned. But there's a lot of crossover bridges. I mentioned house chores earlier on as the number 5 of the most. This is a major issue for most couples. They come in here and they're waiting that you must be in the kitchen, cover the kitchen, the refuse being disposed of, everything around the home. And you just go out in the morning in the name of going to earn some cash for the family. And sometimes what you even bring home is not enough to catch half of the money. And yet you want to cross your legs and be watching TV while there's somebody else sleeping out there. It doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work
And the
that
same thing goes for the other side as well. So they need to sit down and exchange those things that they want of each other. Be bold to say it and get a reception of understanding from the other party.
Yeah.
Communication is a two-way traffic. Don't just say it like you're giving a briefing and a directive. You wait for what the other side is feeling towards what you are saying, how practicable it could be.
Mommy wanted to say.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I think I read that was when we first left Nigeria. We in the church we were going to, we did a Bible study. They call it after the suitcases are unpacked or something like that. You know, they usually do that Bible study for people who are just relocating so that you go into it gradually and they let you know. I mean, those are the kind of things that we can have also here. We should have a very good package where people are, I know they do a lot of relocation things, you know, the government, but some, you know, it has to be specific to where we're coming from for the Africans, particularly how we can have it. It said in one of the studies that a research has shown that you don't settle down until about 2 years in a new location. So if you move from a place to a new location, you can't settle down in 6 months, not even in 1 year. That it takes 2 years to settle. That's when you really know that you are settled. So we have to give room for that when we relocate. So we're gradually settling in. But we want to do everything at the same time. You want to get the house, and then we're looking at the Joneses as well. We want to be like them. How I must buy a house, I must do this. You don't have to buy a house, but you don't even need to own a house because the expense of owning a house is much more than when you rent a house. So you can rent a house for some time, for maybe for the 2 years or 3, you know, while you settle down. And then if you cut your coat according to your clothing, not even your size, so sometimes you might sew your blouse and it's looking like a necklace. It doesn't right? That's the cloth you have, right?
You cut it according to the material that you have.
You have not your size. So it means that if your fabric will only be a headgear, then you better make it a headgear and be good. So if you do that, because a lot of times you're getting it to work, you know, when both couples, when both, you know, both of them are working at the same time, something is going to suffer.
Yeah.
The children will suffer because the children are also going through their own emotional traumas.
Absolutely.
They're going through relocation issues. We don't think about them that way per se. They go to school, they're trying to belong. It's huge. So who supports them? So those are the kind of things that bring the stress. Children are stressed, dad is stressed, mom is stressed because we are putting our hands into too much at the same time. So for me, I believe that we can gradually settle. We know they say it's a land of gold. Yeah, milk and honey is coming from the ground. Be careful as you take the milk and honey. Take it gradually. One party could stay back home while one is working. If you have a moderate little house, your bills are not too much, you can manage. But if you go in like that and you have bills paying, everybody will be on the, but you will even get the children working as well when they're still just finding their feet. So I think it's a major settlement planning that should be put into relocation.
The adage statement of failure to plan
It's
is
planning
already a plan to fail. And that the only thing that is constant in life is change.
It's change.
If the two of you can absorb those principles as well, changes that occur because you change location should not hit you like an electric shock. No, it's just the reality of the present moment. And if you adapt to that particular change, in another short while, you will soon discover another positive change in that same land. I mean, when we have stories across that particular spectrum in this same land, some came in very, very battered and they pick up their pieces. Today they are shining.
Wow.
Some came in very established and they are wondering why they should be de-established until they find it on the canvas and are still wondering, am I on the canvas? You're already on the canvas. And some have actually gone back in shape, in shape, just because they are not ready to adapt to change. And I think that is
thank you so much. As we bring this episode, because I just have a final question I wanted to ask. So, I mean, what habits can we as couples or in marriages can we have that will help to protect our marriages before issues get escalated? So an issue was escalated. I know we talked about the bubble, but what other habits, you know, can we encourage man, woman, you know, we can have that can help to protect our marriages?
Okay. Well, because we are Christians, right? So we're looking at it more on the Christian side of things. One thing I know that helps me is that the day I discovered that my husband it was not my source. Was when I began to enjoy marriage.
Mm.
The day I discovered. And I began to realize that God is my source. So if I sit down here, I'm saying that he's not meeting my emotional needs. He's not meeting, he's a human, he's human.
Mm.
Even if he has all the paraphernalia to meet it, he may not be able to do it.
Mm.
But when I have my God as my source,
Mm.
whatever he gives me is just like should I say a cream, maybe icing on the cake, because the cake itself is John. God has baked the cake. Now,
Yeah.
he has given me that comfort. We need to know how to get comfort from God, both, but particularly the woman. Men, because it's already said that they don't communicate and all that, things. But women we have a list of our issues, right? But can you imagine if I prayed and God has given me comfort in that place of prayer? How much pressure am we putting on him? It won't be much.
It won't be much, yeah.
It won't be much, or maybe even no pressure at all. I'm able to take more things. And before you know it, it begins to help. That's what I always say. Try. God is your source. If you're sitting down and think that this man will meet your emotional need, has he finished meeting his own emotional needs?
No.
He doesn't even know how to. But when God is our source, it gives us satisfaction to a very good level. Of course, we need the human intervention. I'm not ruling that out at all. So if you're not getting what you should be getting, by the time you have gotten what you need, much of it from God, you will not harass the man as much. Whatever it is you're getting, or even the other way around. So that's one thing I want to tell married couples. It will help a great deal.
That answers part one. That's the godly side.
Yeah.
It tallies with what you call having your devotion.
Yes.
Or quiet time with God.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing we advocate for couples is what we call the marriage time, or in Gen Z language, date nights. Because if you tell a Gen Z married night, another lecture. But date night, hey, what's happening, man?
Yeah.
How we going? So they'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But the definition or the details of that date night is just the two of you. There's a very good song about that one in those days. I don't know why they still singing out there. Just the two of us.
We can make it even.
When it comes to the two of you, whether you have babies or grown-ups, lay them to sleep, or they have got somewhere that you can have free time. Then open up on just the two of you. Don't talk about mundane things of who carries the refuse or who takes care of the snow. No, talk about just feel the pulse of each other. How have you been? Quite some time I've not asked about you, this and this and that. And we advocate 3 times to be doing that. Number one is daily, very short, maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes as the time avails you. So that you don't just pass the day up without finding to know where your spouse is at. Number 2 is weekly. By weekends, whatever happens to be your weekend, because some people are running shift or roster. So whenever it comes to be your own long time that you can take out about almost 2-3 hours or more, or even if you like the whole day, whether in the house or in a resort or you just drive away, we share this with one particular marriage course team. And they got home and said they're going to give it a shot and practice for 1 hour. Left their children with their grandma at home, took their car key, and they drove off. They were talking and they didn't come back for the next 3 hours.
Wow.
They said they didn't feel like coming back. Because they've never explored that opportunity of getting to re-know each other while you are now inside of that marriage. Because things have changed.
Yeah.
And she has put that for you about 2 or 3 children. She's no longer the same lady that you just married a few years ago. And you two have been busy running after all the ivory towers or treasures of darkness of the land. So you guys need to come together one day and just say, you know what's happening around in here? Where are we at? And don't be carried away by all those private pursuits. That's the second one weekend. The third one that enhances this date night is the annual rest. The annual rest can take minimum of about a week, but preferably if you can have 2. And I can explain very quickly. Number one, out of your location, if you're going to hire a, what do you call it? Airbnb or somewhere that is affordable for you guys.
Cruise.
You don't have to go on an hotel that is expensive. But if you have the funds, you can go for hotel, you can go for cruise. Cruise is our ultimate, because in a cruise, you learn to put up your feet. No washing of clothes, no cooking, no visitor, no this, no that. You just be yourself and explore, and preferably 7 days minimum time.
Minimum.
5 days is like you just taste the ice cream. Oh, they are getting down right now. Ah, so soon. He said, yes, because of the time travels on the ocean. But that notwithstanding, the key there is that you are able to focus on each other for that kind of a period of time and get to be aligned, get to be brought up to date, and that bonds you the more. So date night and quiet time with God, date night with your spouse are very key, because the rest of the day or the rest of the days, you are looking after the children, visitors, in-laws, and all this other. So when do you look after yourself? So you want that marriage to grow, to look after each other through date night and quiet time. Praise the Lord.
Thank you so much. We're really honored, and I'm sure you will agree that we need to bring them back for another episode. We'll fix that in, because there's a lot of wealth of knowledge that they have to pass across to us. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Healed or Hurting. One key takeaway that I would say to anybody, man, woman, single, married, couple, divorced, know that communication is very key. Whatever you're doing, any relationship actually, even at work, communication is very key.
Absolutely.
And for singles, know that while you're in that phase of dating, please learn to communicate, share your expectations, let everybody know what your expectations are. To our married couples, remember that at the end of the day, God is our ultimate source. And as long as we can put our source on God and begin to be able to talk about our communication, we will go a very long way. And to our divorced fathers, mothers, know that you're not alone. There's help for you. Seek help. Do not isolate yourself. And always know that, remember that you are loved. Again, let's thank the Babatundes for joining us on this episode. And I'll give a shout out, because yes, this episode could not have run without my better half behind the camera, our producer, and my son who assisted on this project, the father and the son of Video Creative Company. Thank you so much for this production. Again, I'll always ask you, are you healed or you're hurting?